today is May 14th, 2010. We're here with a very special young lady. Her name is Mattie, and Mattie came into our office, was referred to us by a neurologist here in Atlanta, and she entered the office on February 24th, 2010 with a history of severe headaches for 3 years, 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 a week at least. They were frontal headaches. She was getting dizzy occasionally. She had neck pain. The right was more than the left. It was occasional. She wasn't sleeping good. So I'm going to turn it over to them. We've adjusted Mattie with the Atlas Orthogonal percussion adjusting instrument, and she has done very well since February. No headaches, or
maybe like one, and that's it.
Okay, all right. So that's great after having them all. All right, so give us some background. What happened and how you feeling now? Tell me all about it.
I no longer have any headaches. My neck doesn't hurt anymore. I sleep much better, and that's pretty much it.
And she doesn't have to take medication.
Great. So go back with the whole story now. This started 3 years ago, basically,
like
kind of out of the blue.
It was 3 years ago where she just progressively started getting worse, where she was complaining. She'd come home from school and you'd be like, "Mom, I have a headache," and that alarmed me, so I took her to our pediatrician, and at that time they were like, "Oh, probably just dehydration, just uptake, just increase her water, whatever." And then it didn't get any better. We went back to the pediatrician, and so they said, "Well, we might need to go ahead and send you to a pediatric neurologist." So we went to a pediatric neurologist, where then they did an MRI on you, and
That's okay.
They did a MRI on her, and they found out that they were saying that she had like a little tonsillar.
Chiari malformation.
Yeah, and they said it was ever so slight, so they didn't know whether to call it that or not. So then they said, as of right now, just treat her with Motrin or whatever, and just keep watching it, and then bring her back, but don't worry about it. Well, then, in the meantime, I was reading up on Arnold-Chiari malformation, and it was freaking me out. But time went on, and we were seeing our normal chiropractor, and that was the first chiropractor we saw.
And they were saying something about having to cut part of the back of my brain in a major surgery.
Take the bones out in the back.
Right.
They had talked about doing that surgery.
Well, that's what that entailed, and so then I was like, oh gosh. So we would just continue taking Motrin or Benadryl to sleep, and in and out of doctors. And then I had another pediatrician that I took her to. And they said, "You know what, maybe we need to reassess this again and send you back to the pediatric neurologist." And in that 3-year period of time, we were back and forth like every 4 to 5 months seeing the pediatric neurologist along with the pediatrician, and they still couldn't come up with anything. And then the last time we saw the pediatric neurologist, they said, "Well, it's got to be migraines, so we're just going to put her on," and I cannot remember the name of the strong medication, but that I knew that they said she had to be tested, her heart had to be tested, that some children couldn't take it because it could damage the heart, but...
Okay, it might be Tegretol, which is a very strong
anti-seizure. I thought it was. It started with a T.
Okay.
And that freaked me out, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." So then I said, "Well, you know what? I'm going to try to find another neurologist to take her to." So I happened to meet this woman in a hair salon, and she was talking about how her child had headaches all the time, and she went to this neurologist in Atlanta.
Right.
So I went to him, and he said, and when he felt her neck and stuff, and he touched her, he said, "I think I know what she has and where she needs to go, but first we need to go ahead and, it's been a while since she's had an MRI, we want to rule out Arnold-Chiari, we want to look at every avenue." So he did that. He did the MRI. He even did an X-ray of the mouth, did the whole thing. And he said, just like what I suspected, that her head was on
sideways
incorrectly. So he sent us over. So he said, "I know where you should go," because the woman that I had met before, who had gone to Dr. Sanchez with her daughter, she also comes to you. and her headaches were eliminated. So we came here, and ever since Maddie has been coming here and being adjusted with the, because like I said, we'd been going to a chiropractor for years since my children were little, to different chiropractors, but the alignment wouldn't hold, and they would always say her neck's off, and they would adjust her, and there was a correlation between the headaches and the adjustment, that it would be a longer time before her headaches, but the headaches would always come back. It wasn't until we had this type of adjustment on her neck that the headaches are almost obsolete. You never talk about headaches anymore. I almost forget about it. And then she's gotten now where she can tell me, Mama, my neck's a little sore, I need to go to the sweat doctor. That's what she says. And so that's where we are today.
Well, that's great. It's a beautiful story, and you're a wonderful patient. And I'm very glad you don't have any more headaches.
No, we didn't have to take that medication, which I didn't want to have to put her on. Especially when that wasn't her problem.
It's good that you got to us, in a timely manner, that you didn't have to get on the medications too. All right, but anyway, thanks, Maddie, and thank you, Kelly, for being on our video.
Thank you.